Hi, Cancer. This is for your January 2017 reading. What do we have for Cancer 2017? Okay. Okay. We start with your situation. Okay. Your situation is the Nine of Rods, it looks like, for January. So this looks like working really hard on a project. Maybe a little too much. With the rods, it's like once you get past the eights, it can start getting to where you wonder if it's just too much. But sometimes that's what some projects require, is just to keep going, because some projects are just so tough, or relationships, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's just kind of tired out. You've been doing a lot, I get. But you're nearing the end, whatever it is you're working on here. But probably what's tiring you out is here. What's crossing you is the Seven of Rods. It seems like you feel you have to defend yourself here. It's not such a terrible thing. It's just defend your point of view, stand up for what you believe in. And at times it can seem pretty dark, like these clouds are pretty dark. So that can be tiring. Maybe you're having a relationship where it's just getting stressful, or a project you're working on. It's just a little bit tough. Taking some extra work. Okay, what's crowning you is Four of Cups. So I would see this as things not so bad. Look at how abundant this table is. I mean, you have all your needs met, but you're still not satisfied. There's something more you want, which is good too. I mean, we should always be striving maybe for more meaning in life, or perhaps you aren't seeing what's around you. Maybe you could be fulfilled if you looked at what it is that you have right now. So this seems to be going on in your mind. I kind of get from this photo too that you've got some personalities around you right now that he's got his hands folded, kind of like he's either annoyed by them or just not really crazy about his relationships at the moment. Even though they're very available to him, they're there. They seem happy with the relationship, but he's just not so satisfied. Okay. Now, in the recent past is the King of Rods. And he is walking towards he's still going to be moving into January. But this is a great card for actually putting your creativity, really creating something, being a leader, and actually manifesting your dreams and bringing them here in a real tangible way. And this could be a man in your, could be a woman too in these general readings. Someone significant of a fire sign. Yeah, I get that they're still significant in January. And this person's really determined. I was I'm not sure how supportive I see him being to you necessarily. He seems to have his own mind about what he thinks is important. And if this is your energy, then that's just an aspect of you. You have some aspect that might not care about the other parts of you so much. Sometimes we have opposing aspects to our personality. But you have a part of you that's very, very determined about fulfilling some kind of goal, or this is a person that feels that way. And they're going straight for it. It's almost like there's no stopping this person. They'll make it happen. Not in a brute way, but they're just so incredibly confident and focused. Most people just go along in the universe too when we get that way, which is good. Unless you don't want what this person's going for. So, yeah, actually, it could be this he's going for. In your near future, it looks like some hurt. This looks more like a relationship to me. A misunderstanding. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a breakup, but it's almost like these two people feel sad that they can't understand each other. But they just don't know how to work out their differences. And see the rose. It's almost as if it could have worked out. It was like someone showed up with a rose to be romantic, and it sure didn't turn out the way that they thought. But this could be as temporary as just a disagreement. It doesn't have to be, or it could be as serious as a major hurt. I've seen this card with breakups we're all devastated sometimes by breakups, aren't we? But I'm sensing, just from my intuition, that this is just some sadness going on in a relationship. And if it's not a romantic relationship for someone, it could be between you and a family member, could be at work, just feeling like you wish you could understand each other better. And there's kind of a sadness that you don't. But underneath, at the base of the reading is the sun, and this is a major arcana. So everything's working out the way it should. And you know how it works is it's like this, when you take, look at these clouds, when we have storm clouds and they eclipse the sun, it's just such a perfect example of how we start to doubt the truth of who we are, the truth of truth, that everything is okay beyond, I'll get really deep here, beyond these worldly plays, Wasn't it Shakespeare that said, talked about all the world's a stage and we're all merely actors in it? Well, we can look at these tarot readings and when we get down into our life, it's just like the tarot readings. We get so involved in these dramas that they can feel painful, really painful. And that's not to be denied. But let's not forget there's also the sun that's always there. And this could be considered the soul. It's always, always there, shining, and telling you, it might feel like you're hurt, but in the end, it's just an experience because you're always whole. And you always have sunshine and warmth. So this is showing up in your unconscious, but I believe you kind of feel this way sometimes, like despite the challenges you have in your life, like we all do, that's part of life. I think you kind of have this positive, shiny attitude at the base of it, Cancer, where on some level you just kind of know everything's going to be okay, which is, wow, if you can get to that level, that's amazing on the spiritual path. That's a fantastic place to get to. Okay, and in your environment, is the High Priestess. So, yeah, it seems that your environment, I take her as being very spiritual part of us. And I bel your environment is telling you for January that they're supporting you spiritually. Just consider that everything that's happening in your life, no matter what's happening, is for this purpose, for evolving spiritually. And somehow, when you get through some of these experiences, you'll know why. Like, let's say, I don't see a breakup particularly, but if you do, sometimes those breakups, you think it's the most horrible thing in the world, and then it could be a month later, 2 months later, you start to really see, you feel a new sense of freedom, and you can be a new person and try out a whole new part of yourself that you wanted to express, and you couldn't do that when you were in the relationship. So she's kind of saying that, like, not necessarily about a breakup, but just, and the sun, that everything is working out for your highest good this month. And trust that. Really rest on that, like she's resting on the tree. As hard as that is to do in certain moments, when you can find those moments, try to tap into that. Try to find that place. Read something maybe that you know inspires you spiritually, and go for a walk by yourself out in nature. Those are ways to come back to it. Or whatever you do. Maybe you have a yoga or meditation practice. So, okay. And the advice is the Magician. So you're being asked to know that you're the creator, that you're a conscious creator. See, we all have a magician part of ourselves. We've just gotten so limited, so deep in mass consciousness and low level vibrations of this earth that we believe we're so limited and can't create anything. And I think creation happens on a way different level than the mind. It comes from a place of trust spiritually. If you ever notice some of those people that really trust, they don't always say, oh, I'm visualizing a car. They're the kind of people that they just believe in life. They believe in abundance. They believe things come to them. They believe they're lucky. They believe they're abundant. So that's the kind of place when you're looking at these deeper spiritual things, these major arcana are asking that of you, and this also a major arcana. These three major arcanas are working toward you trusting yourself and using this trust in your creatorship. So you might not be able to manifest exactly what you're doing. I mean, we can attain some goals, sure, but this is talking about trusting in the magic and the abundance of the universe. Just believe in it. Know you deserve it. That's the advice. And your outcome is really nice. The Six of Pentacles, just beautiful balance of money and material things between these two people, giving and taking and sharing and giving. And interesting, sometimes the thing, overall, people interpret this card as a good balance. Six is a good number for balance, but there's always this, I've never liked this photo because there's always this like person who's a beggar. And I feel like it could sometimes point out that someone's kind of beholden to these people. But right now, when I let this image speak to me, what it's telling me is this guy, like the person I was just describing, the way that they, they may not actually visualize, but they just believe in life. And they have a really good relationship with money. They're not afraid of it. They believe they deserve it. They don't judge people. They don't get jealous of other people. They know what's coming to them. That's what I get from this guy, this beautiful look on his face when he looks. I feel like he's looking at the money that he's giving to her. And he knows he's giving her something beautiful. So there's this real beauty and respect for money. And that it's a beautiful thing. So, I don't know. I think some people could learn that lesson. Some people might say, well, of course, everybody knows it's a beautiful thing, but if you've been on a spiritual path for lifetimes, sometimes we've bought into these old church beliefs of poverty and that serving humanity means making nothing. But this guy here is showing an outcome of just this, a really nice relationship with money. That's what I'm focused on here. And earthly things, you know, we can spiritualize earthly things by breathing our energy into them, putting our consciousness into them, blessing them with our love. And that blesses the world. So, okay, Cancer. Now, this is something I do with my reading, something a little different. I've got to come up with a real name for these, but they're cards for being on the spiritual path. And I've been talking very spiritual about this reading. I may start calling these readings just spiritual tarot readings, because that's my greatest interest. But we had some things in here about relationships and money. But these cards are to support you on your path of awakening. This is for people that are on a committed spiritual path to truth and implementing truth in their life so that they can have more relationship with their true self, however you define that for yourself. Okay. Receiving. Okay. Wow. Doesn't that just go with, that's amazing. I'm going to put that right with this, your outcome card, receiving. So I was focused on you, Cancer, being this guy. Or maybe he was more our teacher. Yeah, I feel it was more of a teacher, but you know what? You can receive, but maybe she's not a beggar. I wouldn't see yourself as a beggar. I just see her as very appreciative of something that he really values. And she knows she deserves it, because look at the look on her face. She doesn't look like desperate or overly grateful. I think she's ready to receive it. And she's looking very respectful, like her eyes are very wide open and clear, that I see that she deserves it. So I see it's about you opening up to abundance and to spiritual growth or anything else. So receiving is just letting yourself receive even your own light, you know. Let yourself receive this sunshine of your soul. Let it just beam out of you and shine. And whether other people see it or not, the fact that you consciously shine and radiate and choose that, and it sends yourself the message that you're not just a human, but you're also soul. So receive your own light and let it shine. Okay, that's what I get for you, Cancer. So take care. Okay, bye-bye.